Pokemon challenges have become way too easy. Competitive Pokemon players are winning tournaments with Jigglypuff, YouTubers are beating the hardest Nuzlocke in a single attempt, and I'm somehow still a top 5 speedrunner. A drastic change was needed, so I made my own. Introducing the new hardest Pokemon challenge, the Super Ultra Omega Kaizo Iron Man challenge. The rule set that I have concocted is so back-breakingly difficult that I truly believe it might not be beaten in our lifetimes. In Super Ultra Omega Kaizo Iron Man, everything is random. We're talking stats, moves, typings, PP, you name it. Just check everything you know about Pokemon at the door because you won't need that where we're going. See, ripping away the knowledge and skill of Pokemon just makes the challenge that much harder. So let's jump into attempt 1 of my Super Ultra Omega Kaizo Iron Man journey, and I'll explain the myriad of remaining rules as we go. Once I sort everything out with Professor Oak and make my way into the world of Pokemon, I immediately head downstairs to talk with my lovely mother. She will be the first of many NPCs that we talk to during our journey, as one of the many rules is that I must talk to every single person in the Kanto region because it would just be so rude not to. I forego talking with anyone else for the time being, since I feel like we might not be getting out to explore much of the region for a while. Oak escorts us to the lab where I am met with my first major decision. Which starter will I take? It's Pokemon after all, so obviously I'm allowed to pick whichever one I please, but that doesn't mean there aren't some restrictions. I am only allowed to use Pokemon with a base stat total ranging anywhere from 411 to 489. Weak Pokemon like Rattata and Aeron have proven themselves as massive threats in the past, so I shackle them to the rest of the absurdly powerful Pokemon with 490 or higher BST. The first Pokemon that I take a peek at is naturally banned, so that leaves Matang and Crawdont. And I think you know which of these two I'm picking. Oh, and before we get into the fight, have I mentioned that I set every opponent Pokemon to level 100 yet? Or the fact that my one and only Pokemon will be at level 1 with experience gain turned off? No? What about the part where if I faint, I have to start the challenge all over again? It was a good attempt 1. I quickly realized that if I wanted people to take my challenge seriously, I needed to start prominently displaying the number of attempts on screen. Without such a large number next to my name, nobody would believe me if I told them that I was attempting a challenge that was virtually impossible. Oh, wait. Oh my God. The most important part. How could I forget about this? I mean, how is anybody ever going to know if it's hard if we don't have this on screen? Now that my challenge finally had some legitimacy to it, I was ready to start rifling through attempt after attempt, and it ends just like the first. Look, I know it might seem impossible right now, but I promise there is a path to victory here. Essentially, what needs to happen is that I have to find a Pokemon with at least 1 immunity, and my opponent's Pokemon just needs to randomly have 0 moves that it could hit me with. Any combination of Ghost with Dark, Steel, Normal, etc. would be the key to making it out of here alive. Attempt 3 would not grant us that key. All right, we could be here for a while. Guys, just in case you don't realize how hard it is, maybe I need to give you a reminder. What happened in attempt 4, however, was even more disheartening. That is, in fact, below 411 BST. Okay, so is that one. Well, we lose. We lose. My morale for beating the challenge might be dwindling, but at least my viewership and attempt counter continued to climb. Attempts 5 and 6 met the same fate as the previous ones, but against all odds, attempt 7 provided just a glimmer of hope. Who is our lucky candidate? Can we even use it? All right, it's Swalot against the world. Come on, the one, please, please. This is our one out. Yes! Yes! Oh my God, he did it! Believers, stay in line! Believers! The believers are eating good right now. He did it! I had witnessed a miracle before my very eyes. A level 1 Swalot somehow managed to defeat one of the strongest Pokemon creations ever. Like I said, Ghost types in this challenge are a requirement and the only path forward. Unfortunately for me, I'm going to have to hope that I can roll that kind of luck again. And again, and again, because in Super Ultra Omega Kaizo Iron Man, you are forced to switch your Pokemon in every single new area, except cities and towns. I hit the jackpot once, but now I would have to do it time and time again in hopes of finding that perfect winning seed. As I make my way up towards Viridian, I begin my task of talking to each and every NPC. This might be the only time I ever leave Pallet Town, so I need to make it count. I take special note of the NPC who is blocked by an obstacle that I can't currently clear. I use my external tracker to keep track of all the unreachable NPCs so that I can return to them later once I've added all of the HMs to my arsenal. Unfortunately, this is the point where I must part ways with the legendary Swalot that got us this far. Luckily for me, it seems like luck is on my side yet again, as this Route 1 Victory Bell is also a Ghost-type Pokemon that I'll bring to a grand total of 0 battles. It's now imperative that either Route 2 or Viridian Forest can provide a glimmer of hope for the impossible challenge. Thankfully, both of them deliver on that front, meaning that I can proceed with the slim chance that my opponent's Pokemon simply won't be able to touch me. I didn't want to risk getting my Viridian Forest encounter until after I had cleared out the trainers allowing me to access Pewter, so I tried my hand at the one required bug catcher blocking my path to see if I'd even have the chance to take on Brock. Can the 3 do it? Yes! Let's go, the 3! Let's go! Lightning does indeed strike twice, and miraculously, I found myself conversing with all of the lovely Pewter City residents. I quickly head to the Lone Mart and purchase Repels, since I know some of these level 1 Pokemon have moves capable of doing damage, and I would hate to lose to a random wild encounter. It should go without saying, but Pokeballs and Repels are the only things I'm allowed to buy here. You might have also noticed that I've been passing up on all of these random floor items as I go, and that's because in order to make the Super Ultra Omega Kaizo Iron Man challenge as hard as possible, I have completely banned items both in and out of battle. This extends to all held items, unless they have a random chance of activating, meaning that Bright Powder, Focus Band, King's Rock, and Quick Claw are all fair game. Returning to Viridian Forest, I hope that Lanoon is somehow able to capture the same magic that propelled both Swalot and Camerupt to their own respective victories. It's too easy. It's too easy. Just keep feeding me ghost types and we can't lose. We can't lose. Would it really be as simple as ghost types carrying the entire run? Route 22 gifts us with Noctowl, and amazingly, I had struck gold again. Mewtwo didn't have any answers as it went out on its own terms once again. But the real question is, could my level 1 Noctowl overcome the first major hurdle of the run? All right, yes. Come on, the 5. We need one more. Shelder, get this thing out of my face. Get this thing out of my face. Let's go. Let's go. It's too free. Why, yes. Yes, he could. Luckily, I'd been studying up on my AI documents before this run, so I knew that I could abuse a unique quirk in the Gen 3 AI called Memento AI. This special AI interaction will trigger if a Pokemon can't hit you with any of its moves, and thus will always use Memento. Unless it has either self-destruct or explosion. Then it could also randomly click that, so I need to be careful to play around random booms. As long as I keep getting Pokemon with immunities, the odds of my opponent's Pokemon just taking themselves out becomes the secret to our success. Almost as if I had drawn it up myself, this proceeded to happen for each and every battle I had on the way to Misty's gym. Somehow storming through the game with opponents constantly refusing to fight me and just giving up at the first sign of adversity. It wasn't until battling Misty herself that the Pokemon I was facing actually decided to try and put up a fight. But luckily, my Ghost Normal Mischievous had just the answer to the problem. Equipped with a soundproof ability, 84 Parish Song PP, and a mean mug to trap my opponents in, I was fully in control with one measly Pokemon. Instead of just removing a move that could potentially end my run with absolutely zero counterplay from my challenge, I get to wield it myself to draw out Misty's long and painful demise. The doubter meets the same fate as I make my way over to Bill's house, where I find the first NPC that I am genuinely scared to speak with. Unimaginably, battle after battle, Pokemon after Pokemon, my army of ghost types always prevails. I assume it's only a matter of time until my luck runs out. Once arriving in Vermilion, I make my first stop at the fishing guru's house to collect an old rod that will become an important tool as I prepare to board the SS Anne, because these few water tiles do in fact count as their very own encounter location, meaning that I'd have to say goodbye to this lovely Ludicolo that I'd become so attached to. However, nothing could have prepared me for the untimely horror that I was about to fish up. All right, what we got? What we getting on the line today? Yo! The Torkoal Cannon is here. Does the trend continue? So much for them ghost types, huh? My luck had finally run out. Sure, I did still have one immunity courtesy of water absorb, but no ghost typing would leave me vulnerable against the plethora of exploding Pokemon that I'd already discovered. Like that big scary Mewtwo my rival's been carrying around. Let's see, what has Mewtwo got for us? Uh-oh, the mist? He didn't Memento turn 1. Has he changed up his ways? Oh, okay. Mewtwo, you've changed up your game so much. Wow, this is a battle, huh? I can't wait to hypothetically do this about 30 more times on this ship here. This guy is cooked. This guy, yo, the big crit, a whole 2 HP. He wins these. Phenomenally, Torkoal managed to whittle down each and every one of the Doubter's Pokemon through sheer grit and determination. And I guess just a little bit of luck too. Magically, Mewtwo's new re-randomized moveset ended up being totally countered by water-absorbed Torkoal. And it wasn't just Mewtwo. The fellow SSN passengers, the gym trainers, hell, even Lieutenant Surge himself did not have an answer for this death by 1,000 cuts turtle. After claiming our 3rd gym badge, it was finally time to say goodbye to Torkoal, who would pass the torch on to a team of Tropius, Quillfish, and Glalie. All ghost types, of course. Who made it through to Rock Tunnel, where a single ghost type Gligar would usher us into Lavender Town, where I could finally embrace these ethereal beings. Do you believe in ghosts? Yes. I do believe in ghosts, in fact. You have no idea how much I do believe in those ghosts. Unfortunately, we were about to run into a new ghost with one major downside. Oh, that's an issue. That's no bueno. Thankfully, I can skillfully dodge all the trainers on the way to Route 7 and hopefully get a ghost type who doesn't prevent explosions. Little did I know that we were about to encounter the hero of the entire journey. Let's go! The goat. All right, what do you have for us, goat? Focus, man! Yes! Oh. This was incredible. With just a little bit of luck, we have the fear strat at our disposal for each and every fight. Assuming I don't run into any ghost types myself. The icing on top is that Crawdon is still a ghost type, so any of those explosive tendencies can easily be dealt with. Now it was simply time to see if he could really live up to his goat status. Vulpix will definitely hit us. Oh, wait! Hold! My goat holds! My goat holds! Alright, let's see. Oh, he doesn't even want to try. Tentacruel doesn't even want to try. Look at that HP bar crawl. Didn't even try and kill us? Didn't even want to see if the focus band was real or not? Now we just need that to happen, oh, I don't know, a couple of 100 more times and we'll be good to go. Don't worry, I already know what you're thinking. Yes, I hired an astrophysicist who excels in statistics to fact check that the focus band odds are legit, and they confirmed it all. So no need to question the legitimacy of this run. Crawdon just continues to build upon its incredible legacy by packing up all of Rocket Hideout with ease. Oh, you thought... He's holding. Does he hold for every single one? That's the funniest possible attack it could have used. Oh my god. I was caught off guard by the beat up. But let's see. He's doing it. Oh my god. The whole team. You can't even take him down. Focus Band pulls through time and time again, allowing me to defeat Giovanni and pick up the Silph Co. I don't want to lose our beloved protagonist just yet, so I decided to take on Erica's gym before heading to Pokemon Tower, where I'd be forced to say goodbye to our dear friend. But before we do that, I can't forget about the rule forcing me to talk to every NPC, and yes, I do mean every NPC, which means that we also have to talk to this guy. I mean, he's not wrong. Crawdon has no issues yet again overcoming the improbable odds, meaning we are officially halfway through our expedition. The sad news is that I must part ways with the hero that got us to this point. Many hands have played a part in our success, but those claws were just extra special. With a heavy heart, I made the trek towards Route 12 to grab the encounter I would use to fight the Doubter in Pokemon Tower. The thought of replacing my beloved Crawdon in the place that trainers lay their Pokemon to rest was just too much for me to handle. So instead, I'll take this Dodrio that I just caught and don't have any attachment with. I knew that I couldn't grow attached to this Pokemon as part of me died when I was forced to leave Crawdon behind. We outmaneuver the powerful level 100 Mewtwo for a 5th time and are now ready to discover the beacon of hope to carry us through the daunting Silph Co gauntlet. Up. Of all the miracles that this run has been blessed with, this very well could be the best one. Knowing it was meant to be, Crawdaunt returned to carry me through the longest and most grueling section of the entire game. She quickly tears through each and every trainer within the tower, and now that we have dispelled all the evil grunts in this haunted tower, they migrated to an even bigger tower. In order to take on this absolutely massive gauntlet, I needed to ensure that I got the perfect RNG seed, so I tactfully took a 33-minute dinner break to RNG manip for the exact seed required to take on this gargantuan task. Once I returned from eating, I only had a 3-frame window to enter Silph Co, and then would need to hit frame perfect inputs as I cleared out each and every trainer on each and every floor to make sure I stayed on the correct seed. 3,482 frame perfect button presses later, and Giovanni was successfully defeated, disbanding Team Rocket once and for all. Our efforts were rewarded with the president of Silph handing over a coveted Master Ball that I'm sure will make for a suitable home for the final encounter of this journey. Assuming we make it there, of course. We're not finished in Saffron City yet, as I still need to take on Sabrina, but thanks to her lack of a gym puzzle, we don't have to fight a single other trainer in the process, and Crawdaunt comes to the rescue one final time. This run truly wouldn't have been possible without you, so one massive send-off to the absolute greatest to ever do it. The replacement Piloswine has big shoes to fill, but it won't be in them long because as soon as I get to Cycling Road, I catch a Matang in a single Pokeball, which might be the most impressive part of this whole video. Koga will not have to face the wrath of its iron claws, however, as we'll be donning our safari gear to catch the ravenous beast capable of tearing through that ninja. I'm shaking at the mere sight of one. However, one look at the summary screen and I realized this isn't the ghoulish being I was hoping for. The ghost-type crutch was kicked out from under us yet again, and I had to pray to Arceus himself that the run wouldn't end here. After totally navigating the Safari Zone successfully on the first try, Koga's gym awaits my toxic terror. It seems like we might have struck gold as our Volt Absorb and Protect work perfectly in tandem to keep us safe, while the toxic and wrap damage acts as the slow and insidious killer. It's finally time to turn the tables and give Koga a taste of his own medicine. Albeit very slowly, and done. Whew! It wasn't easy, but that is the 6th gym down, meaning we are in the final stretch. Assuming everything continues to go perfectly, this will be the run to beat the impossible challenge. I return to Pallet Town to speak with Mom again and say hi to this new ghost-type auxiliary that will be super helpful in transporting me to Cinnabar Island, and that's about it. The real star of the show will be my Pokemon Mansion encounter, Castform, who just so happens to be the 30th Pokemon that we've used during the run, and my naming convention is just... well, you know, I think this actually fits quite well. This Castform will use her God-given assets to her advantage, though, as she is holding on to yet another powerful item that we can use, Bright Powder. Lowering my opponent's accuracy by a whopping 10% will be crucial for a Pokemon with one of the worst possible type combinations of all time. The 147th worst typing, in fact, according to the best Pokemon player in the entire world. Maybe he should try this challenge. Definitely seems like something he'd enjoy. And wouldn't you know it, it seems like Castform's strategy is working just as intended. Let's click. Yes! Bright Powder value! Oh, insane damage! The allure of this stunning Pokemon is simply too much, and not a single Pokemon can manage to hit her. Maybe that immunity ability does more than just protect her from poison. Castform makes it out of the Pokemon Mansion completely unscathed, and luckily for me, I've gained so much Pokemon knowledge thanks to playing this impossible Pokemon challenge that I can answer these questions with ease and not have to fight any of the optional battles. I don't think I'll be needing any burn heals, Blaine, but I think you could stand to benefit from a wide lens. We could still lose. All it takes is for one stray hit, and then the run is over. They are level 100 after all. Oh, I mean, if Bright Powder didn't clutch up again, we would have lost. Bright Powder pulled it through again. And with that, there was somehow only a single gym badge remaining. The Electrode I find east of Cinnabar makes quick work of all the swimmer's explosive tendencies, and then I intentionally backtrack all the way to the power plant so that I don't end up missing this guy. While I'm here, I decide to just grab my encounter for Giovanni's gym, which might have been a mistake. He's got boxing gloves. How could he possibly be bad? Well, there's only one way to find out. Uh-oh. I mean, he's got one immunity. Sturdy. Well, you know, there's a universe. Trust me, I know better than anyone not to depend on ground types with Gen 3 Sturdy. Sturdy. Hold. Hold. The most value that Sturdy's ever gotten ever. Psyduck, you're cooked. It's GG's. We hit a few super fakes now, Fisher. It's not gonna work, bucko. Giovanni's team inexplicably did not possess even a single move capable of hitting my Hitmonchan. Meaning I had done it. Somehow, some way, I was headed towards Victory Road with every single gym badge in my hand. But before we could do that, we had a bit of cleanup to do. I finally chopped down the tree caging this poor man, returned to Celadon to talk to Buddy, who somehow got himself stuck here, and then how could I forget about Cerulean Cave Guy? Oh, and all the trainers on Route 13, 14, and 15. With that major task now out of the way, I was down to the last few fights and NPCs to talk to. I proved the doubter wrong once more and make my way through the final badge checks. The scene I never thought we'd get to. Exploud is the ultimate loser in this challenge as the one who gets to pass the baton to the real Pokemon who will finish this off, Vileplume. And I feel like there is only one way that we can celebrate the final capture of the run. So let's just chuck this bad boy. What? Oh my god! Oh my god, this Vileplume wants blood. Wow! Exploud nearly cost us the run, but I am now even more confident that we have the unstoppable leader who will carry us over the finish line. Blessed with the typing and held item of our glorious savior, I feel comfortable letting Vileplume lead me to victory. One quick sweep of Victory Road later, and I'm even more convinced. There are now just 5 fights separating me from overcoming the impossible. 10 hours ago, when I booted up stream and started my attempt 1, I couldn't have dreamed that we'd ever make it to this point. But now, it was finally starting to feel real. Lorelei is first up, and her 5 level 100 Pokemon are no match for my meek level 1 Vileplume. Once again, we abuse the Memento AI to manipulate all of her Pokemon to take themselves out. Through the power of White Smoke, Vileplume is completely immune to stat drops, which means that Memento AI will always be in effect. I'm able to use this quirk in the Gen 3 AI to my advantage and take down not just Lorelei, but all of the remaining 3 Elite Four members as well. This left just 1 fight remaining. It was time to prove the doubter wrong once and for all. 6 Pokemon between us and victory. 1 Memento, let's go, let's go! You already know the drill. Can't believe it! He just doesn't know. Keep going, Vileplume, keep going! You can do it! Execute! He's done! He can't stop it! Shelter! He's saving the best for last. Bring him out. The doubter. With one last gasp, can Mewtwo overcome it? Hold on, I just need a moment. 7 attempts later, 11 hours of my life. It's finally over. Hold on, I'm not crying enough. Hold on. I need to get it closer to my eye. I didn't think we'd ever get it here. I feel like now would be a good time to remind you guys to check to see if you're subscribed. Oh, they said it could never be done. Where's my Kotaku article? It was finally over. Against all odds, I managed to defeat a truly impossible challenge with just a little bit of luck and a whole lot of skill. The journey was difficult, but I will never forget all of the ones who made it possible. Except for you, you don't count.